Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be finding out who wins this overall. Some of you might already be predicting who is going to win this. So it's our first ever review video, or comparing video, where we're going to put Gamera and Godzilla together. So I'm going to put two random Gamera and Godzilla movies, and then we're going to talk about both of them, say which one's better, and whichever franchise has more points at the end wins. So I'm sorry I took another long break. I was just having a few busy weeks, but my holidays started now, so expect at least 10 to 15 videos this 2 weeks maybe. I'm not promising that, but yeah. Anyways, make sure you subscribe before we get into this. Which one do you prefer? Because even if you say, whichever one you prefer, I will still, respect that, because I love both of the franchises. But we gotta have one winner. And I know Godzilla has a lot more movies than Gamera, but that doesn't matter. It can still be a good comparison. So yeah, we're not going to count the fact that Godzilla has so much more movies. We're just going to get started in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so for round 1, we've got Gamera the Giant Monster versus Godzilla 1954, the two starters of their franchises. Gamera Guardian of the Universe was a rare occasion where you could do better than the original, and not to mention Toshio was a bit annoying, because if you actually had a monster attacking your city, your honest reaction wouldn't be leave Gamera alone. Sure, Gamera's still good. Unlike Godzilla, Godzilla was not that. Godzilla wasn't evil, actually. He was just an animal, but still. Godzilla was actually hurting the city for fun. Gamera was... I haven't watched Gamera, Guardian of the Universe in a while, but yeah. Godzilla 1954 is my favourite movie of all time. It's got cool action-packed sequences and emotion that actually had me upset. And every time Godzilla was on screen, it felt mysterious. And his introduction roar is incredible. Fun fact, Godzilla is actually my favourite roar of all the Godzillas. So yeah, this isn't so hard to pick which one I prefer. I'd say that Godzilla 1954 is quite a lot better when it comes to the original films. And Gamera the Giant Monster is still an amazing... No, wait, I said Gamera Guardian of the Universe. Sorry about that. I was meant to say Gamera the Giant Monster earlier on, just a few seconds ago. But yeah, Gamera the Giant Monster is still underrated, but it's not enough for Godzilla, definitely not. And I will admit, something Gamera did do better with is the profile picture or thumbnail for the movie logo, which is the photo you just saw a small while ago. Anyways, we got Battle of the Goofy films, Godzilla vs Megalon versus Gamera vs Giran. Okay, this is a very close one. I'm going to have some issues deciding, because in Godzilla vs Megalon we're introduced to the drop kick, while in Gamera vs Giran we get introduced to Gamera doing his gymnastics. I will admit, the villain in Godzilla vs Megalon, which is Megalon himself, is cool, but is he better than Giran? Controversially, no. So, villain goes to Gamera vs Giran. I will admit, the comedy is equal. And Jet Jaguar, comment down below your thoughts on Jet Jaguar. I got mixed feelings with the Showa one. I'm more into the singular point Jet Jaguar. I found him very fun for some reason. But yeah, if it's based on the final fights, yet again a tie. They both have their goofy moments in their final fight. It's probably one of the hardest decisions I've ever been given on which one I prefer. But I will admit, the human characters in Gamera vs Giran, controversially, I found more enjoyable. But yeah, I really can't decide for this one, guys. This one's going to have to be a tie. And this is the first time I've ever handed out a tie. Moving on, we got Godzilla vs King Ghidorah, aka the only film called Godzilla vs King Ghidorah, versus Gamera Guardian of the Universe. I do love Gamera Guardian of the Universe. I do love Gamera's new design. It's an amazing start to the Heisei era. However, I'm going to quickly describe what I think about Godzilla vs King Ghidorah. So, it's near my top 10 favorite films, and the fact that because every film that contains Godzilla and King Ghidorah fighting doesn't have the title of Godzilla vs King Ghidorah except this one, so it feels like the most attractive Godzilla Ghidorah film to go to. We even get introduced to some baby Ghidorahs called the Dorats, and every fight's so enjoyable, and they even make their own Mecha King Ghidorah, which was a very smart idea, and it got a lot of attention after they did that. So, I might be wrong, I haven't watched it in a while, but was it the film where Heisei Godzilla cried? Because there was a film in the Heisei era where Heisei Godzilla cried. But yeah, very good movie. Always so fun to see Godzilla on the screen. Gamera Guardian of the Universe is good for its own reason too. I do remember like when Gauss was on top of the Tokyo Tower, the final fight, which is revisiting the two OG monsters of the Gamera franchise fighting. It was all good and all, but it doesn't quite defeat Godzilla vs King Ghidorah. Now this is the hardest option we've got on here, for sure. So we got Godzilla vs Mechagodzilla 2 versus Gamera 2 Attack of Legion. Godzilla vs Mechagodzilla 2, I also had it on my most underrated Godzilla movies list. But something really cool about Godzilla vs Mechagodzilla 2 is you can tell about like everything. Everything. Like it's got the best design Mechagodzilla, the biggest threats. It even has Rodan and Mechagodzilla in the same film, which I love. And fun fact, Gamera 2 Attack of Legion is actually my favourite Heisei. No, not Heisei. My favourite Gamera film in general. Like, I'm one of the only people that prefers Gamera 2 over Gamera 3. But yeah, this is going to be a really hard one because it's basically a Heisei film I really love. That's also got great emotion versus my favourite Gamera film, which is why I'm saying it's the hardest one on here. But yeah, we are introduced to Baby Godzilla. It's got some very good characters and sad emotional scenes as well. And I don't remember the name of the lady, but there was one. So remember that lady that was introduced in Godzilla vs Biollante? And then they stayed in the Heisei era till Godzilla vs Destroyer, so on. Yeah, she had a great personality in Godzilla vs Mechagodzilla 2. And for Gamera 2 Attack of Legion, Legion had such a cool design. Like all the spikes hanging in the corner. And Gamera's looking better than ever. And it even has 2 fight scenes and they're both so fun. Something so special and underrated about Gamera 2 is the fact that it took place in winter. And I used to hate winter, but I kind of regret that because it's kind of nice and it has nice occasions like Christmas. But yeah, this is tough. I do love Gamera 2 Attack of Legion, but I'm going to give it to Godzilla vs Mechagodzilla 2. And that's also because Godzilla... Another thing I loved about Godzilla vs Mechagodzilla 2 is the fact that it's the film where Godzilla had the most screen time. A screen time of 27 minutes, so not much boring human bits. Now, this is another pretty hard one that we got here. Godzilla vs Destroyer and Gamera 3 Revenge of Iris. I find it controversial how some people say that Iris beats Destroyer. But yeah, that's off topic, so let's move on from that. Godzilla vs Destroyer, other than obviously Godzilla, it's the saddest film we ever had. We had the best villain as well. We had Destroyer, who I hope returns because that was a very cool villain. And we get introduced to Burning Godzilla. Oh my god, the designs are so good. And we get introduced to him destroying the planet, him going on meltdown mode. And possibly his saddest scene ever with the music and Godzilla's final roar of him sacrificing himself. I have nothing to say about Godzilla vs Destroyer. The humans are also amazing and super enjoyable. And moving on to Gamera 3 Revenge of Iris, we got, because I rewatched it recently, we got some good characters again. There was a lady in the film I forgot the name of as well, that did not like Gamera at first until he saved her from Iris. I had to get over that part a bit because I didn't really get it because I was like, what's wrong with Gamera? Like, I know Gamera I think if I remember, it was Gamera killing her family or something, or Gamera stepping on buildings and Gamera causing harm. But either way, what do you expect from a giant monster? He's stepping on stuff. And Iris actually posed a bigger threat than Gamera. But it even has the incredible fight that works in a building. Well, I found it very nice to realise that, like, when the lady's crying because Iris died, but also being shocked because Gamera saved her. But yeah, not much Gamera in the film, but the scenes Gamera are in really delivered. Also, sorry if you can't hear all my sentences. Haven't filmed reviews in a while, okay? Sadly, though, it doesn't beat Godzilla vs. Destroyer. It feels kind of sad just seeing that half of the movies I'm comparing, Godzilla's literally destroying at the moment. But yeah, you can't mess up with Godzilla vs. Destroyer, and it's still mid to high defs Gamera Revenge Virus. Now, Battle of the Anime Trilogy, Gamera Rebirth, and Godzilla Singular Point. I made 3 parts on reviewing Gamera Rebirth recently, and it was good, yeah. So Godzilla Singular Point contained the Jet Jaguar I was talking about earlier that I liked. It contained some pretty good designs for anime characters. Like, look at all those cool anime character designs on the Godzilla Singular Point thumbnail. And Godzilla's got a cool design. The red steam is cool, or smoke, or whatever. Mist. I don't know why I was calling it steam and smoke. But it's still boring. Like, we don't see Godzilla till, like, episode 6. However, something I do like is we did get some Rodans, which is nice because I like Rodan. And I'm really hoping he's in the new Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire. But yeah, it doesn't beat Gamera Rebirth. Gamera Rebirth was... I never got bored of Gamera Rebirth. Like, fights each episode, some epic designs. Like, we had Gamera fight Gauss, then Jiger, then Zigra, then Giron, then Virus. It was all amazing. So yeah, I'm sorry, but Godzilla Singular Point stands no chance against Gamera Rebirth. I had a blast with Gamera Rebirth. I remember when I watched Godzilla Singular Point, I was really begging to just skip the human parts. I wanted to know when Godzilla would appear. However, something that I really appreciated about Godzilla Singular Point was it kind of referenced Shin Godzilla, which was a really good film, by using forms, because Godzilla Ultima started off small and then he became bigger. But yeah, Gamera Rebirth has the incredible moments that do succeed, very epic designs, very enjoyable characters such as Joe and Boko, and yeah, it's also a rare occasion where in the Gamera franchise the kids are good. Only Toru beats them and that's it. Other than that, Boko and Joe have literally been the best kids of the Gamera franchise so far. And it's got cool characters like Mr. Tazaki, and yeah, all those characters. So yeah, I almost said Gamera Revenge. I was thinking of Godzilla's Revenge for a minute, but no. Gamera Rebirth wins low diff. Feels kind of sad to realize that out of this whole comparison, Gamera's only won 2 points. One of them was in a tie, and this right here. But yeah, I enjoyed talking about this, but yeah, that's the last comparison we had. So now we're going to move on to the good bit. Which one's better overall? Some of you are probably guessing already which one I prefer, but both of them are good in their own ways, especially in the Heisei era. None of them disappointed in the Heisei era. Like, they were also fun to watch. They honestly had the best scenes. The Heisei, Godzilla, and Gamera era is an era that you'll never get bored on, unlike the Showa, Millennium, Monsterverse, anime trilogies, whatever. But yeah, we're going to do some points. So villains goes to Godzilla, protagonists goes to Godzilla, characters goes equal. Gamera and Godzilla are both equal. They're both amazing. Design, it depends on the movie. If it's based on Gamera 3, then probably Gamera takes it because he's got a very cool upgrade. But if it's just in general, then Godzilla. And yeah, emotion also goes to Godzilla. And with that, I'm sorry, Gamera Rebirth, but you lose. Godzilla wins high to extreme death. Like, you can't mess up with the Godzilla franchise. It's only had a few bad movies. It's got the very underappreciated Zilla. It's got the classic OG film. That's my favourite film of all time. It's got the emotional Godzilla vs. Destroyer. It's got the very peak Godzilla 2014 movie. Because that was one peak trailer for Godzilla 2014. It knew how to make it mysterious. And it's very funny that it went from Godzilla 2014 having a trailer as if it was like Godzilla 1954 and Return of Godzilla and Godzilla 2000 and Shin Godzilla. And then it just got a bit silly with Godzilla fighting kaiju such as Kong and King Ghidorah and some very odd characters. And then it became the most overrated thing ever and people started disliking the MonsterVerse. When we first saw the trailer for Godzilla 2014, it felt like it would be like Godzilla 1954. Don't get me wrong, MonsterVerse is amazing, but it does not beat the Toho era. And that goes for Gamera too. Even Gamera Rebirth by itself can't be better than films like Gamera 2, Gamera 3, or Gamera the Brave. It's definitely, I don't know, man. Anyways, I'm so glad I got to review this with you guys. Tell me your thoughts in the comments. Like, I know you're all probably going to say like something like Godzilla wins, but you can still see stuff you prefer about the Gamera films over the Godzilla films, because there are some Gamera films that are much better than the Godzilla films. Anyways, thank you for watching, guys. Please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. I'll try and get as much videos as possible, because it'll be sad if I haven't uploaded much for Halloween.